The T26E4 SuperPershing is an American Tier 8 premium medium tank. To increase firepower, a new long-barreled 90mm gun was mounted on the T26E1 in the January of 1945. Prototype was designated as the T26E4. Development was discontinued in the January of 1947 due to problems with the gun and the loading mechanism. A total of 25 vehicles has been built by the time, but never entered mass service. In World of Tanks, it's a premium medium tank that relies on its armor to go through the enemy lines. But let's see how it fares through some gameplay. Hello guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks Ace Tanker series. As you can see, today we'll be driving the American Tier 8 premium medium tank, the T26E4 SuperPershing, and driving the SuperPershing for us is Nemanja. And well, we are going to see how you should drive your SuperPershing when you are a top tier tank, and well, stay to the end of this replay because we are going to see a really nice replay. I promise you that, and you just have to be patient. You'll see what I mean in a couple of minutes. So yeah, Nemanja is going to drive his SuperPershing, as I said, really carefully and well, in the real way that you should drive your SuperPershing. So this position here that he is taking, he is not just hugging this corner just per se, he is using this corner to hide the weak spot on this tank. The weak spot, as you may have known, it's the right cupola of this, the right commander's hatch on this cupola, so you are always going to try and hide that position, well, that weak point, whenever you are in this kind of position that you can side scrape. Now, side scraping in this tank is pretty nice as you have a lot of frontal armor, so you don't really have to angle the tank that much. And well, you can use the frontal armor against your enemies. I believe it's 250mm all around on the frontal hull of the armor, so both the upper plate and the lower plate. And the turret with the gun shield that you can see here also gets, I believe, up to 300 and about 300mm of armor, so it is pretty hard to penetrate this tank. But there are a couple of weak points on the tank. One of them being the machine port on the hull, and as you can see, the gun shield doesn't really cover the whole cupola, so the left and the right side under the gun shield are also weak points. And as I said, also a well-known weak point on the top of the turret, so the commander's hatch. And yeah, as you can see, he is still side scraping here, always trying to find the position to side scrape against the enemy tanks. He was thinking about the IS-3 and the T28 HTC that are on the right side from him, that he will try and side scrape against them, but it looks like they decided to, well, try and push the one line. The Rheinmetall Borsig on the one line stopped the IS that was, well, playing there really aggressively, and now the HTC and the IS-3 really don't want to go there to fight off with the Rheinmetall. So you can see Nemanja still side scraping here, and he is fighting off with the IS-3 now. He is shooting the premium shells on the SuperPershing because the penetration on the regular shells is really not enough to go through the armor of the IS-3. So 170mm of penetration with the standard shells, as I said, not enough to go through the armor. And you can see that the IS-3 is kinda angled here, but Nemanja with the premium shells, that's the APCR, is able to go through and penetrate the lower plate even at that angle that the IS-3 is angling. So as you can see, the matchup is pretty nice for him. He is in a tier 8 match. This is also something that you can look forward to when driving the SuperPershing. You are going to get a lot of tier 8s match because this tank has the preferential matchmaking, one of few remaining tanks that still have the preferential matchmaking. And really, SuperPershing can, well, use that preferential matchmaking because with the gun, as I said, with the standard shells, you are not going to penetrate a top tier tanks that you are going to encounter. So imagine that you get in front of the E75, you are going to have a lot of trouble penetrating. Now, as you can see, the situation is dire on his side. There is only 4 of them against the well, 7 on the enemy team. There was, for a brief moment, there was 8 tanks. And the rest of the enemy team is, as you can see, flanking from the other side and in a good position to shoot the tanks here. The Skoda really, yeah, dies to the Scorpion G, and everything that Nemanja does here is really just slowing the death of the friendly tanks on the other side. Now, you can see he bounces the shot from the Scorpion G here. That's what you can expect from the armor of the SuperPershing now. Enough armor to bounce the shot from the Scorpion. I believe it's 240 something penetration, so there is something that you can think about when you are fighting with this tank. Now I was like digressing here from the gameplay itself. You can see that the S3 is fighting with the Scorpion on the other side, and Nemanja is fighting off with the T26E4 Now he's in a position where I believe he can get shot here by the artillery, and at this point he is alone 1 versus 5, so he has the chance to get the Kolobanov's medal. This is what I was talking about. You are going to see a pretty nice game here. Now notice that the Scorpion has killed the IS-3 and was going the way where Nemanja is, so Nemanja turns around, puts 1 shot into the Scorpion. The Scorpion wasn't able to penetrate the SuperPershing, and Nemanja puts another shot and kills probably the baddest target that he is going to encounter at the end. Now he kills the Scorpion and he is moving back and forth, really not going to allow the artillery to have easy shot on him. The problem is with SuperPershing, it is a pretty slow machine. When you get into some open field, you are going to get shot by the artillery and you are going to get killed by the artillery pretty easily. So that's something that you have to take care of, because, well, you're not going to get anywhere quickly because, as I said, the engine is pretty slow on this one. Now the best thing for Nemanja to do is to, go in cap and hope that the artillery doesn't go in cap. He's friendly to cap, so if he gets to the cap first, he is going to try and lure out the enemy artillery to maybe have a shot at him and try and reset. When he spots the artillery, he is going to be able to shoot at it and finish it. Now he finds the Hummel on the right side, on the standard artillery position, that's the K1. Puts 1 shot into the Hummel, but the Hummel has enough HP to survive 1 shot. And now he's going to try and find the second shot. Unfortunately, this one misses, and he decides to, move, because he is standing in one position, and standing in one position is not that great when you're fighting against 3 artillery. So now this is the problem for the SuperPershing. As I said, he is in a slow machine. He needs to get back because he wasn't able to get into the cap pretty quickly there and to start the cap himself, and the enemies have started the cap first, so he needs to go back. He needs to reset that cap. Now, one problem that can occur here is if both of the artilleries are going for the cap, and if they both enter the cap, he is not going to be able to win this at all. As you can see, there is only still 1 artillery capping, which is pretty good. We know that the Hummel is left on the left side of the map in the K1 position on the corner. The only question is, where is the second artillery? So we know about 1 in the cap, and we don't know whereabouts of the 1 artillery, and we don't know which artillery is capping, so it could be the tier 7 or the tier 8 artillery. As you can see, he has still half a minute here. That's the M12 capping. Easy shot here on the M12. Resets the cap. I didn't see how much was that. Maybe he gets the Defender's Medal. And another shot on the M12 artillery and gets missed by the artillery. Probably that's the M43, because the Hummel really doesn't have the shot in this position. Now he only needs to get, stay away from the shots from the enemy artillery. As I was saying, he is trying to drive towards some cover and really not allow the artillery to have lucky shots on him. Now, in this matchup, as you saw there, he was top tier and he was playing really nicely, but once again I have to say about the problems that you can get in SuperPershing. As I said, you're pretty slow here. He was lucky there that only one artillery was trying to cap, and well, what is going to happen at the end, we are just going to see if he is going to be able to find them in the 5 minutes that are left here and finish them off. Now, what he is doing here now, I really don't know. If I was in his place, I would probably go for the enemy cap and try and cap, but it looks like he is going backwards. And well, is he going to try and, well, find where the artillery? He says in the chat he thinks that the artillery may be going for the cap once again. So he wasn't spotted here. That's a, well, as he is in an open field, that means that the artillery is nowhere near the 9 or 0 line. And he was right, he was on his way back and he spotted the Hummel. Puts one shot into the Hummel, finishes him off. As you saw there, he gets spotted by the Hummel. And now he once again goes for the enemy cap. So great thinking here for the... that was a close shot. That great thinking here by him that the enemy artillery might once again try and cap. But the time is running out. As you can see here, only 4 minutes left. And the best bet for him here is to go to the enemy cap. I just hope that the third artillery really doesn't go to the cap as soon as he gets in. That would be really bad for him, because he would once again have to go towards the friendly cap and reset. So I was talking about the tank. As I said, a lot of great features on this tank, the armor being one of the best features, because you get a lot of armor. 250 on the hull armor. I believe it's around 300 millimeters on the gun shield, so yeah, that's something that you can look forward to if you are going to buy this tank. And I believe this is the cheapest tier 8 premium tank that you can get, costing only about 7,200 and something gold. So if you get this one on discount, as you get a lot of discounts in World of Tanks at about 15%, you can get it at about 6,000 something gold. So that is a pretty nice, well, if you have some gold laying around, that's a pretty nice price for the tier 8 premium American medium tank. We're just waiting here for the SuperPershing to, well, finish off the game. He was 1 versus 5, as you may recall. He was able to, well, by playing really nicely there, he was able to finish off the tank destroyer. That was the biggest threat to him, and after that he was able to destroy the smaller tank destroyer and left against a couple of artilleries. Great moves at the end of the game. He was able to go back, reset the cap once, and great intuition by the driver to go back once again and reset the cap once again when the Hummel was trying to force the cap. Now he gets spotted here. That means that the artillery is close by, and the enemy artillery shoots the gun on the SuperPershing. I believe that he was kinda lucky here. I believe that shot from the M4043 was the AP shell, and the AP shell wasn't able to penetrate. But satisfying moment at the end. That's a GG, and let's take a look at the post-game stats. Nemanja had a pretty nice game here. He got a couple of medals like Shellproof, Fighter, Fire Effect, the Pascucci's medal, Defender medal, High Caliber medal, and Kolobanov's medal for standing alone 1 against 5, and also the Master Badge Ace Tanker. On his score sheet we can see that he got 1321 experience, 5 kills, and more than 3800 damage. On the detailed report we can see that he fired 27 shots, of which 24 hit the target and 19 penetrated. He was also able to block 7 shells, totaling 2080 damage, and with the standard account he was able to score 30,000 credits. Now let's just take a step back and see what we saw in this gameplay now. Nemanja was driving his SuperPershing very carefully. He was always forcing the enemies to shoot the thickest part of the tank, that's the frontal armor, and he wasn't allowing the enemies to penetrate his tank quite easily. At the end, I have to say he was pretty good at predicting the movement of the enemy tanks. He was able to destroy the 2 tank destroyers, and after that he was able to go back to reset the cap twice to kill the 2 artillery that were trying to cap. All in all, it was a really nice game and well-deserved Kolobanov's medal. As always guys, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't like the video, you can leave a dislike or leave a comment what you think about this replay. Also, if you don't know what to watch next, you can watch the previous 2-part video in SU-152 and the T40 Skoda playing on the same map, and they got the crucial contribution. And after you have done doing all that stuff, you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. Hope you guys like this one, and I'll see you in the next one.